Today I'm going to be introducing you to basics of web design. This course is actually to take us through a journey of understanding the basics of website design, and this course is going to actually is designed for somebody that knows nothing about web design, that knows nothing about HTML, or has not even written any code before. So we are taking into the basics to start from the scratch, but we are going to leverage on all the resources we have from the internet and practicing and mentorship to ensure that you learn very fast. So we are the course is I think it's 3 phases. We are going to be having it in 3 weeks for the next 3 Thursdays, 8 p.m. We are going to be today. Basically, we are going to be introduced to websites. What's a website generally, and how do your website get interpreted by the browser? Then how you can write your website, the HTML, that is the language with which the website is developed. That is the hypertext markup language, that is CSS. And cascading style sheet, that is the other one that we are going to be using to style our website. So we are going to introduce you to that part. Then today we are looking also we are going to try to create basic websites, the structure of websites, using the basic tags with which website is created, and how is linked the HTML, the website HTML is linked with CSS. Then we are going to look at different ways which you can link your website with CSS. There is no point doing all this without a mentoring, me understanding that you are following the class. So I would like, after this class, we are going to have an assignment whereby everybody will also do something that I would like to see before the next class, and we can communicate using the platform. So the second class is actually planned to use all we have learned in terms of basics in this particular first class. We are going to develop a complete website with menu, a banner, footer, and a complete structure of a website, and linking one page of a website to another. That is what we are going to look at in the second class. And I'm expecting that after the second class, we are also going to have an assignment that we are also going to be looking at together to check each person how they are progressing on the course in the next 3 weeks in the second class. So in the third class, we are going to be looking at, because nowadays it's not just about doing websites. You will realize that it has actually evolved, just not only checking your website on the computer system. You have to use a device, like a mobile phone, a tablet. So we are going to look at how to make sure that your website is responsive to the device you are using people are going to be using to browse your website. So we are going to look at some media configurations that will ensure that your website is responsive to the mobile device anybody's using. Also, we are going to be leveraging or introducing some frameworks, specifically Bootstrap. These are tools that you can use quickly to make your website look like a professional website. So those are the other things we are going to be, because I'm expecting by the third week you will have been able to acquire some knowledge, and we could actually expose you, introduce you to Bootstrap, which is a tool, a cascading style sheet framework that we use to build websites. So then, if time permits us, we can give a bit introduction to how to create sliders, carousel, tabs, accordion using Bootstraps. So I believe with all this as a background foundation for you, and all the website that we're going to check things, you will be able to go ahead and develop things on your own. So quickly, let's dive in, and let me share my screen. Like I said earlier, the browser is the one that interprets your website. So either you are using Chrome, either you are using Edge, either you are using Mozilla Firefox, this is the interpreter for your website. So if anybody goes to your website, they can actually see the code behind the website. You understand? So if somebody comes to your website, for example, this is a kitchen site. If anybody comes to this website, if they want to see the code behind this website, all they just need to do is right-click on the website and click on View Source Code. They are going to see all the code behind the website. You can see these are all the code behind the website. So likewise for every other website. So now I want to tell you about the tools that we are going to be using. We call them the editors. Basically, in the beginning, when there were no editor, the tool that we used to develop websites is just the basic notepad. It's the basic notepad. The basic notepad is what we use in writing our HTML. We type our code directly. You understand? But as time goes on, there are a lot of tools that are around now that give you easy way of actually developing your website. And the most popular of these is actually the VS Code. Actually, it's more or less like the best. We also have some other popular ones like the Sublime. We have Sublime and we have VS Code. So for this class, you will need either Sublime or VS Code. Or I advise you go for VS Code or either of the two. There are some other ones like Edit++, PHP, GUM, and a lot of them. So to download VS Code, there is difference between VS Code and Visual Studio. This is lighter. You understand? So just search for VS Code and go to the site to download it. Visual Studio Code will be fine. So also you can get Sublime also. Download Sublime. So you download any of these, just come to their website and download. Understand? When you download, ensure that you pick the one for the kind of system you are using. Either a Windows, or you are using a Mac system or a Debian system. That's for Linux. That's Debian. Different types of Linux, Red Hat, and the other types. So you download the file. If you are using, automatically most of the time it recognizes if you are using a 32-bit machine or a 64-bit machine. So it will download for you the one that is actually best suited for your machine. So you can see, but I already have it installed on my machine. I don't need to download it. So also, if you are using Sublime, you can also come here and download which version is best suited for you. So when you are done downloading and you install the application, this is what you get. So I'm starting the two VS Code and the Sublime, and also I would like to start Edge because we'll be using those two. Okay, this is. This is Sublime. Trying to close an existing app. We have Sublime is also free, but sometimes they will ask you to pay, but it doesn't disturb you anyway. It doesn't disturb you. So when you are using any of these, VS Code is still loading up, but I don't want to delay us. We are going to be switching from a VS Code to the Sublime. So this is a plain Sublime text file, and looking at it like this, you will notice that it is devoid of any kind of distractions. The same for VS Code that's coming up. The first thing you should do when you are starting your page is just basics. Is you should just first save your file. And the extension for an HTML file for a website is HTML.html. So, but you don't just go ahead and save the file. You need to put the file in a particular folder. This folder will be the representation of your website. We all know how to create a folder, probably on the desktop, on my document, or anywhere on your computer. So the first thing we want to do is we want to say open file. Let's click on open file and try to something. It's like something is loaded in the background. Okay. Okay. So I want to navigate to the desktop of this computer, and I want to create a folder. The folder is going to, like I mentioned earlier, is going to be like the representation of my website. So in any, either you are using a Mac or a Windows system, you will always get where you click on new folder. So clicking on a new folder is like you are starting a project, and you want to give your website a name. So this is the point where your website, you are building a website for your organization, for a project, or for a church website, or an e-commerce website, or a simple personal website. So you give it a name. This time around, let's say we are doing a project. We are going to name our folder project. We name it project and we click OK. We are going to open our folder. So this time around, we have named our folder and we are good to go to start adding files to our folder. I don't know if this is straightforward enough in terms of what am I doing? Okay. Okay. So we have been able to create our folder. Now we are going to save our file. This is our file, like I mentioned earlier before. We are going to save this file and we are going to give it an extension, saving it inside the folder we created. Remember, we created the folder inside on the desktop of the system, and we created that folder as project. The first page of every website is actually refers to as index. When you go to website, the first page anybody sees, probably I will elaborate on that later. Index, we call it index, but we have to add a extension .html. That is this extension at the back of the index. So we save our file. So okay, this is VS Code, like I mentioned before. Our VS Code is properly opened. I want to, okay, we come back to VS Code. And we are just about to launch our first website. Okay, this is saved. This is saved. And basically, this is just a file. And you can just type hello. Hello world. And save it. So that you click on Control Save or Command Save, like we have on Mac. But just doing this, we are good to go. And right-clicking, we can open right in our browser. Let us see what happens. You can see that's the first website. It's as simple as that. Just type in hello world, that gives us our first website. I want us to switch to that of VS Code. Let us also create another file. We create another file and we save it. Let's save it as index2. Let's look for our folder on the desktop, project, and let's call it index2.html. Oh, sorry. can see I try to save with the same name. It's telling me a file exists with that same name, so it's not going to allow me. I don't want to override that, so I name it index2. So also you can see that we have our file also in VS Code, and you can go ahead and type my second website. Okay, this will now allow you to open it in the browser directly, or you can use it can allow you to use this open folder, open file. New I'm sure VS Code has a way of launching it right from there. But you can see in your file, this is the one created with this Sublime, and this is the one created with VS Code. So that's just the basic way of actually putting a code in a simple HTML file and checking it out on your browser. The same way you are seeing it on your browser here, you can also see the same thing if you are putting it in your Chrome. Just copy the link there, and voila, we are here. You can see it. So I believe we are okay. Please, if you are following and you are getting what we are saying, just type okay, good, or good in the chat, so that I know people are actually following what I'm saying. Now let us remove this and let's go to. Now we want to, for a basic website, there are basic tags and there are basic components that needs to actually make a website complete. So you can see that we just type the text, though we can actually use our browser to view it. But there are some tags that needs to be involved before a website can actually be said to be a complete website. And we call them tags. Some programming languages call things maybe keywords. But in scripting and HTML, we call them tags. And these tags, actually, you need to type them out, HTML, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it's not, this is the advantage of this tool, the kind of tool we are using right now. They give you the advantage. For example, VS Code, by just typing exclamation mark and pressing the return key, that's the enter key, it will give you all the basic tags that a website needs to have. That is the document type and the language. Automatically, it gives you that. And also the head section of the website, it gives you the meta description, the title of the website. So this is the basic tags that the website needs to have. I will come again, an exclamation mark, exclamation mark, and you press the enter key. It gives it to you. If you also go to Sublime, all you need to do is type HTML and press enter. Start HTML tag. You can see it's coming up that HTML, are you meaning HTML? Just press enter key and it's going to give you the basic tag. So to a good extent, you don't need to actually cram all this. Sublime is not giving you some other ones like the meta tag. These are the ones that actually allow the search engines to index your page, where you put the details of the website. This is what the search engine. So we are going to go into all that later. So I believe we are good to go about that. So when you are seeing these dots, I will be alternating from the Sublime and the VS Code. If you see these dots, which means your website is not safe. So you should go ahead and try to save, or if you have several of them at the same time, and say save all. It's going to save all for all the changes you've made to the files. The same thing goes for the Sublime. There is save, save as, and save all. So I believe we are together on that. So I would like to go on now and let us see how it goes for the website. Let's say we have started. We're actually designing now. We start with the hello world again. Hello world. properly now, we are typing our hello world inside the body of the website. The body of the website is where the actual website is located, where the images, the tables, the divs, the structure of the website is located. That is inside the body of the website. The head section of the website is where we have the title of the website. The title of the website is what you see when you go online. For example, you're searching for designing skills. When you search this on Google, you will notice something that comes up. This is more or less like this, the title of the website. This is where you get the title of the website. So whatever you put here, like say my first. Okay. Whatever you put here is what pops up here. So whatever you want to have here is what is going to be in your meta tag. And this is as described in the content here. But there are a lot of meta tags. There are different types. This is viewpoint. There are meta tags for description. And content, that is where you put the details that you want to have here. Okay, let me go to details you want to have here. That's where you put that. So when somebody is able to, then you need to learn how to close your tags. So when somebody gets to your website, this is what they see, the description and the title. And this title, this is the first thing they are going to say. Okay, let me copy this. Let's use VS. Let's stick with VS Code for now. Title. Okay. So the head section is where you have all that, describing the site to search engines and to SEOs generally. So the body of the website is where you are actually designing the website. It's where you type hello world. It's where you put your tables, where you put your code. You understand? So I believe I'll be able to at least solve that to a good extent. We can probably, if we have time, we can go into details about that later. Although we are still going back to the head section where when we are going to be linking our CSS. So let us do a little. Okay, let's see what we have done. Let's refresh this. So our first code HTML2. So you can see our hello world, but we want to style this a little bit further. We want to style it. We want to make it look interesting. Let's try H1. These are tags that allows us to actually give effect, size, color to our text. So as we are adding this, basically, gradually we are going to be introducing CSS. Cascading style sheet is what we are going to be using to style our website. Like you have seen, websites don't just come up and things just happen. You have to define what happens, the width, the height, the color, the arrangement of every item is going to be specified in your code. That is the actual design. It's quite easy. We have to take it easy with ourselves. It's actually fun. Just have to enjoy it before you start probably taking it as a career. I want us to enjoy it. Just see like a creation. You are creating things. That's the beauty of it. Because you are creating something different. Understand? So this is hello world. You can see we added our H1 tag, and our hello world that we typed before is now inside that. What do we have? We have a bigger text. So furthermore, we could go ahead and still do some other things. But this time around, we are going to be using CSS. CSS is cascading style sheets, like I mentioned earlier, and we're going to be using it to structure our website. So what we are going to do now, we are going to create a box. You will notice if you go to a website, most of our websites are like boxes. They are like boxes. Let's go to what website is that popular? Not really popular, not very good. Let's go to Gift. You will notice everything is about structure. It's about boxes. So I think the very important thing for us to first learn about the website is how to box things, how to put boxes in different areas. You can see this box is on the left. There is a text on the right. There's a text at the top here, and there is a text right here. So we also have a box here. Under this box, you can see inside this box is hash. There is a hash background at the for this particular box, and there is a white one under. Everything is boxed out in terms of structure. So what we are going to be doing today is we are going to try as much as possible to understand how to create these structures with these boxes using CSS, cascading style sheet. And we are going to have this CSS in the head section of the website. For you to start CSS, you need to type style. You can see VS Code is already suggesting for you. Do you mean strong? Style section? No, we are doing style. Pick your style. And it automatically closes it for you. This is the beginning of the tag, and this is the end of the tag. So now we want to specify. Let me delete this. There's what we call the div tag. Is what we use in creating those boxes we are talking about. These boxes you have here, you can actually use tables to arrange your text, to arrange your content. You can also, most of the time, most sites that you want your website to be responsive, if you are building a website that's going to be very responsive in the future, you should have to learn how to use the divs. D-I-V, divs. Spelled like this. Okay, let's stick with something. Spelled like this. Let me tab this down. D-I-V. That's our div. Let's check our page to see what we have done. This is the beginning of our div, and this is the end of our div. So let me save, and check our browser. That is our first project. Oh, we refreshed, but we can't see anything. And yes, we don't see anything because this is your code. There is no color, no content, but your code is right there. So let us add some properties to our div. So this is what we're going to do. You still do not see anything, but it's right there. You need to put a color that will show us that our div is there. Background color. So the moment you are typing, you can see all the properties that you can add to that particular div. It's popping up for you. Background color. When you pick a background color, it's telling you which of these colors you would like to pick. And you can actually pick any of these colors. Let's pick this. Let's refresh now. Our div is still not there, but we need to add something else. Let's add content to our div. So you can see that since we did not add any content to our div, it's not going to have any size. it's not going to reflect. But actually, it needs to reflect because we only had a width, we didn't have any height. So we are going to add height to our div. Because we only added a width, we need to add height. You can see line height, minimum height, maximum height. We are going for height. We are saying, okay, we want it to be 500 pixel. We are going to stick with pixel for now, but there are lots of other measurements that we can use for the measurements of our divs. There is rem and there are other ones. So let's just refresh. So you can see that our div of 400 pixel, 500 height is having our content hello world. Okay. So we need to take this another step further. Like you have seen, if I have another div, let me reduce the height of this to 200 so it will not take up all the spaces that we have on our websites. 200, I'm saving that and I'm refreshing. If we go down on our browser, in our editor rather, and we probably copy this and we paste it here, and we say this is not hello world, this is hello Venus. And we save again, and we go refresh. You see, even though, let me even put a break. Let's put a break. Real slash. This is what we give you a break between one item and or the other. Let me put 2. We had 2. Okay, we had 2 of that. And we save and we refresh. You can see both of them will have the same property. So this will take us to the next line of action of allowing our items, our divs, to have different properties. Because as it is, whatever item we call a div, with the way we have written our CSS, they will all have 400 pixel width and 200 pixel height. They will always have that. So we are going to take it further. We are going to write class. We are going to write a class. A class is like a function. It's like sets of properties that allows you to attach different properties to different items on your website. As simple as that. You want this one to have color red. You want this to have color orange. This one to have color red with a different height or width and a different content behavior. You need to create a class. A class is what allows you to specify the property of each of the items. So this will be done inside your CSS styles. And when you go inside your CSS style, let us remove this. These are the property. The property of these divs that we have currently now is the width, the height, and the color. Those are the 3 things we have added. We can have a whole lot of other things anyway. So we are going to cut it out so that we don't lose them. And we are going to create a class. When you create a class, we start with a dot. You create a class by starting with a dot. Oh, you want to create a class for box 1. And you have to open a brace, automatically closes it for you. So we can paste what we cut out initially. That's for the box 1. And we copy this. We say this our div is going to have a class, and that class is the one we defined here. That is box 1. It's as simple as that. So we are transferring the property of box 1 only for this particular div. So if you refresh now, if you save your content and you refresh, you discover this box is the only one with that property, because you said in your definition here that box 1 is one that we have that property of 400 and 200. So we can reuse this for box 2. We are planning to use that for the other div. Let's say this is box 2, but it's not going to be 400 pixels. It's going to be bigger, times 2 of that, 800 pixels. And the height is going to be smaller than that. It's going to be 100 pixels. And the color is not going to be orange any longer. We are going to choose, we want to choose another color for the background. Hold on, what's up? Okay. Note that we only pick that color. Actually, the real colors of HTML is from hexadecimals, whereby it's actually a mixture of the primary colors. That is RGB, red, green, and blue. And it's actually with the hash. And you know the hexadecimal, our little primary school color combinations for hexadecimal. I think we have hexadecimal is between 0 and F, isn't it? So if you say you have red as F, green as F, and blue as F, which means you're having a full combination of red, green, and blue. That will give you white, because the same combination of red and green and blue in full quantity is going to give you white. So this is how they make the colors of web. So if you have something like 3, 6, 7, you're going to have something close to blue, but it's a light blue. That's what you're going to get. So if you copy your box 2 and we take it to the class, we take it to this div rather, then we need to call the class of box 2. See, box 2 is the one with all these properties. Box 1 is the one with all these properties. All the content that we are using in this file is going to be available for anybody to download if you want to compare with the assignment we are going to have. So I would like everybody to pay attention so that we all have the content. So if we refresh our page, we will see that we are having a blue box and we are having the yellow box. The blue box is actually having a longer width, and we can see that here. It's 800, and the height is shorter, 100. The height is shorter, 100, and the color is with that. Why the other one? So basically, notice now that we are already understanding that, oh, we can have boxes. We can have content inside boxes. And we can have a box inside a box, inside another box. So if peradventure we decide to say, oh, box 1, or box 2 rather, why don't you go inside box 1? Let me cut. Box 2, why don't you go inside box 1? Let's see what happens. Can you see our box 2 is going inside box 1? You can do anything with websites, anything. You can do it by the creator. You can see what happened. Our box 2 is going inside box 1. Our box 2 is longer than our box 1. This is where being responsive comes in. We are going to get there. I'm very sure about that. Anyway. So you can do anything with all these things. So let me undo that. You can also, that's where your measurement also comes in terms of arranging your website. So I think I've been able to give a basic introduction to HTML and CSS and how to actually structure your website. I would like to go further in introducing let us do some more, at least advanced than this in terms of having a structure, and a structure that we can interpret into a code. For BAs and people that have actually been working on projects before, they will understand the fact that before you do a website, you ought to have done a proper layout of what the website will look like. So it's good to actually understand where you are going to, apart from having a skill. Having a skill to actually create a website. It's not until you get to the website, to the system, and you open your notepad that you know what you want to do. You ought to have done a proper wireframing of the layout of what you want to do. So having a layout of your work is very important. And right now, I want us to do a little bit of wireframing, and we now try to convert it to a layout. We are going to do a wireframing in a tool. I think I have fireworks here. This is not a wireframing tool anyway, it's a graphics editor, but we are going to use it right now to create some layouts. I want to increase the size to say 800 by 600. Give it a background of white. So I'm going to start wireframing by, okay, let's say we want to do a basic website. We want to do the structure of a basic website that's having this, I'm picking a circle. I need to pick a rectangle. We have a website that is having, say, this background. It's having this background, this orange background, and it's having a body. And the body is this. And the body is, let's say white. It's a white body. And we have another top, and that's the color green. I want you to note what we have. I want to number them anyway. This is 1. The background is 1. The background is 1. And the white background is the white background is 2. I don't want it to disturb us. Okay, so that is 2. So I assume this is going to be the banner for that structure of the website. And we have another one that looks like our menu for the website. And this is this one. And that's going to be, let me give it blue. That's 3. And we have a big one here. That's like the body of the website. And that's I don't want to do something too complex anyway, but it's actually a process. We are doing it together. We are designing together anyway. Let's have another inside. I don't have an inside. Probably an image is here. Let me give you another color. Let's stop there. I don't want to do something too complex. Let's stop there anyway. Let's stop there. This is say 800. Size. we should be able to interpret everything as it is here. So we have the background as 1. We have this as 3. We have this, okay, Control C, B. This will be 4. B, and this will be 5. 5. This is what we want to do. This is what we want to do. This is what we're planning doing. So let's go back to our let's do Sublime this time around. We're starting, and we say, oh, okay, let's save this. Let's another file, and we save it. Let's save it and call it home. Home. Let's call it home. You can call your website anything. You can call it your name. You can call it Kenny. You can call it anything you like. So let's call it home. And we're starting HTML. I think it should give you, okay. HTML. Okay. I hope you notice what happened. When we are saving, we didn't add our HTML. So you can see that when we type, it's not suggesting for us that, oh, it should be complete. It's not going to suggest because it's not knowing the type of file you're actually saving. Because all these editors that you're looking at, they can actually write a lot of code. They have intelligence. Intelligence means that they can actually interpret lots of languages, view, syntax. You can see they understand all these languages, including HTML. The same thing with VS Code. VS Code is actually having more. VS Code can do more. So we need to save our file as .h. You can see in the all the one we saved earlier. The browser is seeing them and can be opened by the browser. But you can see this. The browser will not understand it because we didn't add the .html extension. So it's very key that when you are saving your file, you add the .html extension. That's a good one for us to learn there. So the moment you type HTML now, you can see it recognizes what you are trying to do, and you can press enter. And now in our head section, you can quickly add what? Our first website, wireframing conversion. Okay, and let's leave all the meta tags for now. Let us try to, the first thing that we have to understand, we are doing style. We are writing everything in CSS. Automatically, when you type CSS, it automatically gives you, oh, you're starting a CSS, it will complete for you. I will do it again, style. And you can see it's telling you, are you doing CSS? Just do enter, and it will complete it for you. So the body of the website. Background color. Background color is orange. I think that's our background color. I think that's, you can pick the color actually. I think that's orange. See, that's orange. This tool allows you to actually copy the color. So consider tool is giving you the exact color. So opening this particular, so this body is actually telling us the body of this website. The body of the website. What is the color? The background color of the body. It's as simple as that. So let us view that in the browser. Oh, okay. Need to specify details. Apply it. Need to apply to div. 100%, 50%. Okay. We type in our div. It's also, it suggests our div for us. So all our div boxes, box 1. That is the first box. Box 1. So we can copy the background color. We still come back to the body. There's a way to use the body. I don't want to confuse us because this is the first class. You have to be very careful anyway. So like I mentioned earlier, our divs needs to have size and width. We are going to use, let us look at the inner div. These two. We are working with 2 for now because the brown is actually the background of the website. Because we are going to be doing something spectacular to number 2. Number 2 is the one carrying all the other boxes. So we need to actually centralize this first box to the center of the page. Understand? So this is very important. Actually, we need to give it a color so that it needs to stand out. Let me give it something close to white. Okay. I'm looking at it coming out. Anyway, let's go ahead. So we are class box 1. Let's see what we have first anyway. That's the actual sense of designing box 1. And the width of that box, if we let us refresh, I'm not going to get anything. Let us add the width and the height. The width, what was the width of that? The width of that box is 800 by 600. 800 pixels, and the height is 600. Okay. Oops. We are still having that color. We need to add the ash color. The ash color is the 6cc, C Ultra. Okay. That's our box. Now, you can see the box is actually centralized. This is where you start adding some beautiful things from experience. You need to put a margin at the left and the right to be equal, automatic. So no matter the size at the right and the left, you want the margin to be equal. Meanwhile, your item will be in the center. So you need to do a margin left, auto, means automatic. Margin right, auto. This particular thing is very key for anybody learning website for the first time. Margin right auto, margin left auto allows your box, no matter be the size, zoomed in or zoomed out, to always be in the middle. This is very, very important. This is very, very important. So we have been able to put in our box. So the next thing is to actually work on the green box. This green box, you can see, is the first thing inside the box. So this is the box, and the green box is inside the box. So it's a good practice to actually indent your item to show what is inside which, because this allows for you yourself to actually read your code. Because if you don't do a proper indentation of your code, you will have issues with reading it when your codes start becoming very large. So it's a very good practice to ensure that when you are developing your website or you are writing your code, you add proper indentation. Just pressing the tab key allows you to indent, and backspace allows you to go back one step further. So you are putting a box inside another. Is the best practice is actually to put an indentation, a tab like this. So when you do another div, it tells you that you have a content inside that content. And the beauty of this of the indentation is that your editor, Sublime, the VS Code, they all understand the indentation. Like you can see in our Sublime the other time, you can see the moment you say this hello world is inside this box, and you tab it a little bit, you can see the index box is already it's having an arrow here that's telling you that you can collapse this. You can see you've been able to collapse that. So in a way whereby you want to make your code readable, probably you want to see something, you easily collapse. You can collapse with this. You can see this is indented. Automatically, you can collapse this to have your body like this. The same way goes for your style. You collapse it furthermore to the edge, and this is what you have. So it allows for easy debugging and tracing of your code in a way whereby so as not to make your, even when somebody needs, other developer or people you are working with need to actually read your code, is a very good practice. It's something that can get you a job and that can stop you from getting a job. If they look at your code and you don't have proper indentation, it speaks a lot of who you are and who you are not. You may be a very good designer, a good developer, but if you have not learned and practiced a proper method, you don't inculcate that habit of indenting your code and commenting your code. Indenting code is different from commenting your code. Commenting your code is when you say this part of the code is doing this. For example, if I want to write comment for this code, I can say this is outer box. I will highlight it. This is commenting my code. I can repeat this for the inner box, and I say this is the banner box. So this is commenting my code. It allows people to understand what I'm writing, and it's a very good practice. You need to learn that habit of commenting your code as you are going. It shows you are ready to become a professional if you learn how to comment your code. So that is very important information for everybody. Now we want to write. We can repeat. We can copy and paste functions. That is called code reusing. We can reuse our code. Actually, you will see a very long website code, thousands of lines. Not everything is actually written one by one. We do a lot of code reuse. You understand? You can see, I just copied this and I pasted it here. And I just changed the number to 2. But I don't need that color to be what it is. I need the color to be this color. This color is 09900. I copy my color and I use it to replace for box 2 because I'm working on box 2 this time around. And I paste that. And this time around, my box is not going to be 800 like I have for the outer box, which is 800. This box is 782 by 213 in terms of width and height. 782 by 213. 782 by 213. I don't need margin left auto and margin right auto, because it's going to be inside the box. So I don't need that. So I just remove that. And box 2 is actually ready to go. And I can come into my box 2, which is already inside the box 1 class. Paste my box 2. And I can go ahead and refresh. But nothing. Oh, I believe you can all see the mistake. The mistake is that we didn't put pixel. Pixel. Those are nice mistakes, not intentional anyway, because it's good for your learning anyway. So I think adding a pixel to your box allows you to refresh your page, and you can see it's a little bit indented to the right. Let us see what we can do about that. Let us do is it text align center. Let us see if that will do it. If not, we'll use, it's not going to do it. Let's use align center. Align center. Central. It's not doing it also. There are a lot of tools we can use to ensure that our text is actually aligned. Okay, can do my padding. Padding, not padding button. Let's say padding 3 pixels, 2 pixels. Not padding, margin rather. I will try to explain a little bit what is padding and margin. I think there are tools you are going to be using very well in web development. When you talk about padding, padding is actually within the box. Content that are written within the box, inside the box. Let me add H1 to that, H1. Inside the box. You can see I added the content inside this box. If you want this item inside this box to have a space, if you want a space between this box and the content of the box, you will use padding. Padding is inside the box. So for example now, that box, if I say padding, whenever I add padding to it, if I use padding, let's say I'm using padding of 100 pixels, it will be going towards the center if the height is 2 and 3. So you can see it has added that 200 pixel with the actual size of the item. So you have to be very careful how you use it. So you can't use too much of it, because it's going to add whatever you're adding to it, to the box height. It's going to add whatever you add there to the height and the width of the box. You have to be very careful what you add, or better still, you must have done your calculation to ensure that you have added if you want to add, for example, you want to add padding to this box now, and the box is 782, or then you could have probably made it 772, and make sure, okay, plus 10, that gives you 782. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying here. The actual box, your target is 782. So you want to add a padding, and padding is going to be a space 10 at the top, 10 at the bottom, 10 at the right, and 10 at the left. And if you decide to specify exactly the way you want your padding to be for top right, bottom left. There is a shortcode to use. There's a shortcode to use. Trouble. Trouble. Just remember trouble anyway. Top right. Bottom left. This goes for padding and margin. This goes for padding and margin. So this is how you use it. When you say 10, say 10, 5, 2, 6. Tells the browser that you want the top margin. You want the top margin to be that, this, you know. I believe you heard what I'm saying. This will be for the top. This will be from the right, 5 pixels on the right, 2 pixels at the bottom, and 6 pixels on the left-hand side. Trouble. Just remember trouble. Short abbreviation for trouble. It allows you to specify the width, the height, the margin, and the padding, whatever the case may be that you want. We don't have much time. Let us quickly, we have to finish this. And I want to show something that is going to allow us to do our assignment. And I want us to discuss the assignment before the end of the class. So we have our box. Then you can see that we are more or less done with this actually. What we want to do now is replicate what we want to do for the blue box and the pink box. And we have now, let's see, we have our box, green box, but I think the height. Now we are going to, let me remove this. And we are replicating this down here. We are saying this is our menu box. Our menu box. We are doing the same thing for our body box. This is body box. And notice that this is going to be 3, and this is going to be 4. And you can see the speed at which we are going now because we know what we are doing. We are all together now in this. And we can copy this and reuse the code. And this is 3. And paste again. And this is 4. It's now left for you to ensure that this 781 by 59, which is your box 4. That is your box 4. This is 1. No, this is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So our box 4, which is this box, is blue in color. You can copy the color, or you can just type your blue in your code right there. That is number what? Number 4. We want to say blue. Blue. And let us refresh, see what we have. But that's not our height. Our height is 59. So we do 59. Okay. And the other one, this is box 5, is 288, and it's pink. Let us see if pink is a color that is recognized by our browser. I think so. Pink is recognized, black color. And the size is what? 288. 288. So we have been able to, but let us increase the size of our outer background image. That is this. Let us say 900. Oh no, 900, because we want it to be big. Please, if you have questions, you can be typing it in the. You can quickly take one or two before we go. I don't know if Mr. Olawi is available. There is something I want to quickly show us in Git so that we want to do, so we can use it for our, oh no, heights, no, it's 700 for our heights. Okay. So that's that for the basic structure of a complete wireframe. So if you have a wireframe, banner, a menu, let us put those texts. There's a slider for website, and this is the menu for website, and this will be the website body. So you can see at the end of the day, our CSS will be growing because we have just added a couple of boxes and everything is already growing. And the way we are entering our CSS right now is called internal. There are three ways which you can actually add your CSS to your website. There are three ways you can add your CSS to your website. There is inline, there is internal, and there is external. What we have been doing is inline. What we have been doing is internal. Internal is added to the head section of your website. You can see this is where the head starts and this is where it ends. So we have been adding it as internal. This. We can add it inline. This. This is how to add it inline. For example, box 5, we delete it. And we just go to box 5. We do not call it at all. We write our style right there, inline, inside the div itself. Inside, that is inline. So you type right there and you say background color of that box is what? I think it's pink. If you refresh, I don't think you see anything, okay? Because there's content inside the box. But what about the other things, like the height? The height is what? I think it's 288. 288 pixel. And the width, I think it carries the same thing as the 772. 772. So, did we save? Height, width, margin, all that. Height, are you sure? Oh, sorry. You can see within, it's not reflecting because of what? There is no terminating semicolon. So, you have to look at your code very well. That's why sometimes you have to allow the Okay, let us add a better color for this because we can see properly. Let's use this exact color, FF669. It's a deeper color of pink. This color is better. Background color. Just remove the pure pink. Okay, so that is how to write inline. That's how to write inline. So the last thing I want to show now before we go to our assignment for the week is I want to show you how you write external. How you write external. Because as you can see, by the time you start writing all this in your code or putting it at the top here, your website will be becoming cumbersome to read, difficult to understand. So CSS allows you to, HTML and CSS allows you to actually put all these scripts that you write for your website external to the website. It allows you to write it somewhere else on a separate file, although it's the one controlling your website. It allows you to write it separately. That is external to the website. Excuse me. So, external way of writing your CSS is I would like to undo so that I can have all my script for the, although I like the color I used last. So copy it out. I can undo so I can have all the scripts that we have for heat here, but I would like to return this color. So we have our color, but we want to take all we have written for our websites, want to take it external to our websites so that you understand how to do inline, internal, and writing our stuff also external. So this is what we do. This is what we do. We create a separate file. We are going to create a separate file. The separate file is going to be where we have our style. Our style will be there controlling our websites. You understand? So we are going to create a new file. And instead of saving this our file with .html, we are going to save it with .css. And you can give it any name you like. You can give it Kenny, you can give it style, but it's good to give it something that is meaningful, something that you can easily work with, something that is common that your other developer will not see as weight. You know. So let's save it as let's say it's common way of style. Okay, let's sheet. My sheet. .css. Sheet.css. So we are going to copy all we have done here, excluding this to the external body. We are going to copy to the .css file. Just save it like that. And you can remove this. We don't need it. Let's refresh our page. Whoa. You can see our style is gone. We have it in a separate file, but something is missing. We have not linked this file. We have to link this new file with our HTML. We need to link them together so that they will see each other and they will know that, oh, you are the one managing the HTML file. The CSS file is the one managing the HTML file. So how do we do it? Just say link. You can see it's already suggesting for us link. Just select link, or you can actually type it if you know how to. You can type it link. Type href, but why do you have to cram all that when you can do it the fast way? Link, and that's all. And all you don't need to do is just to specify the name of your sheet. of your CSS file rather, sorry. So that's all. And just refresh. That's how to do your external. The same thing goes for your VS Code. VS Code is even it's even faster. Just a link, or you type exclamation mark, link. No, you just type link. Just type link in VS Code. Just type link. When you type link, that's all. You just type the name of the file. It's as simple as that. HTML is pretty very simple, easy to go, and you can just do things with it, anything you like. So as you can see, we have been able to actually create our CSS internal, inline, and external to our HTML file. And we have been able to create these boxes, the menu, the body of the website from our wireframe. I don't know if Olawon is here. I want to, probably I will complete that anyway. I don't know if there are any questions in the dialog box, but the other thing I want to show us, admin, I don't know if everybody here actually knows how to use the GitHub, so that the assignment needs to be a way where we can review together. Yes, Olawon is here. You are probably going to just give us 15-minute demo on how to use GitHub, just maybe 10 minutes, how to use GitHub, how to create an account. You don't need to create an account, show them how to just, probably let me just do the GitHub, the Netlify. What we want to do is to ensure that we monitor whatever you do in terms of the assignment you are going to be given. You are going to put it on GitHub, and you create a link on Netlify, and you send the link so that we can review what you are doing, and we can correct it, and we can advise, mentor the job you are doing, and we can follow up, you can ask your questions. So we are going to create a new website now. We are going to create a new site for the assignment. This is for the assignment. Let's say 800. Before any other question, we want to be sure that you understand the assignment for the week. Then we show you how to use the GitHub. Then we can go ahead with the other question. So basically, we are going to be doing a website canvas size. Say let us do 1,400 in terms of the week, and you are going to have a box, just like we had earlier on. Then we are going to have another box inside. Or before that box inside, we are going to assume that we have a box at the top. Let's make this one a separate color. Let's say ash or white. Then we are going to have one at the top here. Yes. So we are going to have another one here. And we are going to have two inner boxes, blue, and another one. So a little twist to that. And I want to introduce you guys to a couple of friends that you need to get used to. That's some website that we are going to save this. This is the assignment for the week. It's welcome if you can go extra mile to study, do something spectacular, ask questions that will help you. But there are some pretty websites that you need to actually know how to use, because, like this is basic introduction to HTML and CSS. You are still going to be doing pretty complex things, and There's no way the mentor can take through everything. We're just here to give you the basics. CSS. This website, that's W3 School, is your friend. It's one of the best website for learning. HTML, CSS, they are right there for you. You can copy simple code from here and you can use it on your website. Understand? Simple code and use it on your website. Understand? Simple code here, you use it on your website. Fonts, family, the H1, H2, background colors, divs, tables. You can copy simple codes and use it directly. Borders, understand? For example, what we have done before now, all the boxes that we have done, all the boxes we have done. If you want to, let's say, you want to curve the edge of these boxes. Which box is that? This is box 1, 2, 3, 4. That's box 4. I say border radius. Border radius. I say 5 pixels. So you can see you curve the edge of the. So these are the things you get from all these websites. So this is the assignment for the week, and I believe, and I'm sure everybody in this class will be able to deliver that. Sharon, can you quickly put everybody through GitHub and Netflix now? I will allow you to share it. Or you can just go ahead and share it. So you sign up in GitHub. You sign up in GitHub, have an account. The moment you have an account and your account is activated on GitHub, I believe you can all see my screen. Then you log into your account on GitHub. Understand? The moment you log into your account on GitHub, this is what you get. For example, now I have 2 files already created on the GitHub. I can create another one. Now I'm going to create another one from the file we worked on today. That is new. And I will give it a name. What we did today is project. I added a folder today on the desktop and we called it project. That is this folder. So you are going to call it the name of the project you are working on. Project. So the one you are going to be working on now, which is this, give it your first name only. Your first name only. So that when we are looking through, we know who is who. So you give it the name you want for the project. And you don't want to make it private because we may not be able to access it because you are going to share it with us. So create a repository. So you are creating a repository for that project. And you are not creating the file online. You've already designed the website, which is this that we have done. This work that we have done. You want to share it with us. You want to upload it to this repo. So you need to upload an existing file. So when you click on that, choose the file or folder. So we are going to click on choose file here. I don't know if I'm too fast. Choose the file here. And you go to the desktop. On this, and you click on open. Open. Oh, I think we need to open this. Should be able to open the whole folder. All the files. All the files. Just select all the files and upload everything. So we are done. Commit the changes. That's modified to this. Okay. So the moment your file is done, you can now go to the other side of the site where you will now link your folder to this particular area. Repository, you have 3 repository. Projects, this is the one I created before. This is the one I just added 2 minutes ago. And these are the ones I have before. Projects. I should be able to see all the files. Let me try to upload them again. I don't think they are here. I don't need this. Okay, it's uploading now. So all the files that we did today, they are uploaded now. So commit changes. Okay, so these are our file. So now we go to Netlify. Right? And you create an account. Okay. So we need to now pick our repo from GitHub. We are picking our repo, or a new one. We are creating a new one. So which of the files do you want to pick from? Is it genuine? No. No. I think we don't have all the time. We have just 14 more minutes. I think this is taking longer than. Probably we send the process of linking it to your repo to you on the group. We would like to attend to question now. And design the work of designer and BS while developers code. It's writing the content and designs of the work. Design the work. Yes, basically, it is in a very standard framework. The BA, they do the wireframing, the one we are doing in the Fireworks environment. The BA is one that does that. They give it to you as a developer to convert it to the HTML and code. Understand? So that is the question: is writing the content and designing the work of the designer? Yes. Writing the content. What do you mean by the content? All contents, all write-up that needs to go on the website is the function of the BAs. They give the developer to put in the code. That's if I'm getting that question. Okay, I think Mr. Deg is also trying to answer that. Designers will provide the layout of the website. Yes. And developer codes. Some company like full stack developer who can do that. Yes. Yes. Actually, companies prefer to have the skill of a full stack developer. A full stack developer is somebody that understands both the design, because actually development is actually in two phases, the front end and the back end. The front end is somebody that does the design of the website, all you have been seen us do. But there are some other high-end functionalities that goes behind the website. That is that to do with database functionalities, data management, what you get at a particular time, especially when it has to do with a website that is very dynamic. So that is so a developer that can do both the design part and the backend part, from SQL query, JavaScript, embedding stuffs. Those are developers that are called full stack. They can do both the design and the development, front end and back end. They are called full stack developers. Okay. Wireframing Oshewa says something and enter. Okay. Well, if somebody said, what do we type to show HTML? It is in VS Code. In VS Code, I mentioned that if you want to have somebody is saying, what do you type? If you want to have the HTML, I don't know if you can see my screen. Desktop. Okay. I said if you type this and you press enter, you will get this in VS Code. That's the question that person is asking. How do you get this in VS Code? You type exclamation mark and enter key on your keyboard. That will give you that. That will give you that. Let me go back to the. How do I go back? Okay. So what do we type to show HTML? In Sublime, you type less than sign on the keyboard and you start typing HTML, you are going to get it. I'm going to get it. Very short. So then it is not working for me. Okay, I've just showed it. What is the name of this tool? The first one is VS Code. I showed it in the beginning. I think you should rewatch the video. We're going to decide VS Code, and the second one is Sublime. You can use any other one that is cool for you. There are a lot of them, lots and lots of editors. HTML editors. See, you can see lots of them. There is Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver is also a very beautiful one. CK editor, lots and lots of editors, lots of them. Google Web Designer, Google is also, I never knew. So, okay, we are getting it. Okay. It's not possible to group together and process with. It is not, is it not possible to group together, add box with, and height to pick at one? Yes, it's possible. Just like I showed earlier, if you have your CSS and you say you have, for example, you have box 6 now, and the height is 40, and the width is maybe 70 pixel, and the color, background color is red. Maybe the border radius, border 5 pixel, it's a 10 pixel, and it's 10 pixel. You know, that box, whatever you had that box to, is always going to be the same size. Whatever div you had that box is going to be the same size. So if you have a box here, and you say this box is class of box 6, which is this one that we have just added, of this same size, of this property, and you had it here, box 6. This is box 6. It's going to carry this size. Wherever you had property of boxes, if you change this 5, which is this pink guy, if you change this pink guy to box 6, it's going to carry that same size. It's going to carry that same size. Whatever you change to boxes, it's going to carry that same size. Okay, for example, if you have another box A, and you say div, and you say class, inside class box 6, it's going to carry that property. That property is going to be carried by that box. that color, that size, that height. So let me see. So that I believe that answered that question. Then what tool are you using for the wireframe? This is not a wireframe tool anyway, it's a graphics tool, but there are lots and lots of wireframing tools online. Wireframing tool. So lots of them, lots and lots of them online. You can see lots of them online. So, okay. Well, this is Fireworks, Macromedia Fireworks. It's actually a graphics tool. It's for removing background images and doing a lot of picture editing. Because as a web designer, you need to know how to use image editors very well, because you are going to be doing a lot of that when you become advanced. Okay. Can R and Python language be used to achieve same website development? Yes, it can. Actually, the language for Python is called Django for web development. It's called Django. Django is the version that you use in developing websites. And also R. R is actually more core in terms of websites, XML management. It goes in depth of websites to actually read for analysis, more analysis. It's actually used, I think it's used by Google for their programming. So I am here, okay, version. It is not possible to group together and process with. I think I've answered that. Visual Studio, okay, that is to download Sublime Text. Okay, I think the admin has been able to send the link to download those two tools that we use today to the platform. So thank you, everybody. I think we've been able to exhaust all the questions we have on the chat. God bless you. Admin, until next week, we send the links for other things to the platform.